We are going to discuss about the fermentation. Fermentation is the metabolic process that converts the sugars into acid, gases, or alcohol by microorganisms such as yeast and bacteria. This is typically the process occurs under the anaerobic condition. Anaerobic means the absence of oxygen. Then some fermentation can be occur under the aerobic condition. It is the presence of oxygen. Then we are going to see the advantages of the fermentation. What is the purpose and its advantages gives to the social people. Production of valuable products. You produce a variety of important products such as ethanol, lactic acid, acetic acid. Preservation. It helps in preserving food. Preserving food helps to extend their shelf life. Then it inhibits the spoilage organism. Then nutritional enhancement. It gives the nutritional properties and it increases the bioavailability of vitamins and minerals. Then digestibility. It can improve the digestibility of the food and reduce the content of nutritional factors. Then sustainable process. It often requires fewer resources compared to social chemical process, and it is also a environment friendly one. Then disadvantages: control and consistency issues. It can be unpredictable, then it result in inconsistent product quality if we are unhandled uncarefully. Then contamination risk. There is a risk of contamination by undesirable microorganism. It affects the product and it also not a safety one. Then complexity. The process can be complex. It requires precise control over condition such as temperature, pH and nutrient availability. It time consuming. Fermentation can take a longer time, so it may be a drawback for time sensitive application. Then types of fermentation. Alcoholic fermentation. It is a process of converting the sugar into ethanol and carbon dioxide. It is done by yeast. For example, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is one of the yeast example. It can be the process done in winemaking and brewing. Then lactic acid fermentation. Convert sugars into lactic acid. The bacteria lactobacillus is helped to converts the sugar into lactic acid. It is found in yogurt, pickles, etc. Then acetic acid fermentation converts ethanol into acetic acid using acetic acid bacteria, example Acetobacter. Vinegar production is one of the example for the acetic acid fermentation. Then butyric acid, it produces a butyric acid from sugars then carried out by Clostridia bacteria. It is usually in cheese and butter production. Propionic acid fermentation converts lactic acid to propionic acid performed by Propinium bacterium. It is always important in Swiss cheese production. Then there are the steps involved in fermentation. First, preparation. It is the preparing the substrate. Example, sugar, grain are the example of substrate. It inoculate with the appropriate microorganism. Then fermentation. It is the metabolize the substrate under the control of some conditions like temperature, pH, etc. Then monitoring. It is the seeing the product which is ensure to optimal fermentation. It should be regular monitoring of condition such as pH, temperature, gas production to ensure optimal fermentation. Harvesting. Collecting the fermented product from the desirable level of fermentation to be achieved. Then processing. If that process further for the product is required, we can do the extra processing for the product. Example, refining, purifying the product. Then bioreactor. Bioreactor is a type of fermentation vessel. It helps to the production of various chemicals and biological reaction. The design and mode of reaction are based on the production of an organism, optimum condition required for desired product formation, product value, etc. A good fermenter will help to improve the productivity and provide higher quality with lower prices. Then it is consist of various features like agitator system, oxygen delivery system, foam control system, then temperature control system, pH control system, sampling ports, cleaning, sterilizing system, lines for charging and emptying the reactor. Then there are the construction of bioreactor should be followed. Then it should not be corrosive, it should not add any toxic substances, then tolerate the steam sterilization process, should be able to tolerate high pressure and resist pH changes. The size of the bioreactor vary depending on their application. Some bioreactors are designed for small scale fermenters, large scale industrial applications. There are some measures for their parts of the bioreactor. Then factors affecting fermentation. There are 10 factors. First, temperature. Temperature must be optimal, because if it's too high or too low can affect the process. Then pH level. Slightly acidic condition or ideal. pH 4.6 to 6.0 is the ideal pH. If it is changed, it can be affect the product and process. Then oxygen availability. Generally fermentation is anaerobic with no oxygen. Then nutrient availability. Adequate sugars and nutrients are necessary for microbial growth. Then microbial strain. Types of microorganism affects the fermentation rate and byproducts. Then inhibitory compounds. There are accumulation of alcohol acid. It can inhibit the fermentation. Then sugar concentration. It influences the fermentation rate and final product. Then water activity. Sufficient moisture is needed for the microbial activity. Then agitation. It helps in distributing nutrients but should not introduce too much of oxygen. Fermentation time. The duration must be adequate to complete the process. Then importance. Preserve food extends the shelf life and it enhances the flavor texture. Boost nutrition. Then by fermentation improves the nutrient availability and produce probiotics for the food. Supports the economic. It like food beverages, pharmaceuticals or the economical one. It helps in economical. Fermentation is a good one for preserving the food. Then aids biotechnology. It is useful in drug production and environmental cleanup. A cultural importance. Integral to many traditional foods and social customs. Promotes sustainability. Helps produce biofuels and waste. Thank you.